What is going on, Internet? This is JD coming at you with Redskins Rant. This is just another video I'm posting. I will be going over, I'm assuming most of the Redskins offseason dealings are done prior to the NFL draft, so I will be going over that today. Before I get into this, I just want to tell you that I appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. I will be doing videos like this more recently once we get closer to the season. And also, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle was at Redskins Ranter. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started on this video. I'll look to my right a lot. That's where my computer screen is. My camera is right here, so there we go. So as I look to my right, I'll go over a couple things real quick. WalterFootball.com has Washington Redskins and what they need to get this summer or this offseason. So I'll go ahead and tell you what their needs are in order of what's most important to least important. And obviously they've addressed some of those things, maybe to not to some people's likings. I'll express my opinion on that here in a moment. So without further ado, here we go. Number one need is a nose tackle, obviously to help stop the run. They actually weren't bad at stopping the run last year, but they just need to get a little bit more, some more big boys up front. Center is number two. Number three is running back. Rod Kelly, Shmasi P. Ryan, they say they're mediocre at best. But I think I have this addressed when I go over my fantasy football or my football draft that I did a mock draft today, so I'll go over that a little bit later. Terrell Pryor has a wide receiver, so Terrell Pryor, they lost him, and Ryan Grant, so we have Paul Richardson now. We signed, so we have a handful of other, and we'll probably get another one in the draft. It's just Redskins, they always draft a receiver, they draft one every year. Guard, which that's debatable. It depends on what you view and how well you view some of our players. Cornerback, we address that with Orlando Scandrick. Quarterback, we address that. Kicker, we address by re-signing Dustin Hopkins. And punter, we actually signed a punter. We'll get into that here in a minute. So that's the needs of the Washington Redskins. So I'm going to go over their off-season acquisitions, like what they did to be better this year, okay? And whether I think that it's a good pick or not. So the first thing they did was they got Alex Smith. That is what my opinion is the best move of the offseason, getting Alex Smith. You went from a top 12 quarterback to another top 12 quarterback. I mean, he didn't really lose much. People say it's a lateral move. I disagree with that. If we have less turnovers and we're able to at least get field goals out of some possessions, we probably could have won a couple more games last year. So that's just last year itself. I think our receiving core and weapons are a little better than they're given credit for by some of our fans, just because they want to make excuses for Kirk. We lost Kirk Cousins, so more power to him. Have a good one. Okay, we'll go forward with Alex Smith. He's our franchise quarterback for at least the next 4 years. Lost Kendall Fuller. That was a downside, but it was a means to an end. I'm assuming that the Washington Redskins view some of our backup corners and other talent at corners as comparable or replacement level, so they can replace the production of Kendall Fuller. Okay, really our secondary wasn't the issue last year. The issue was all the injuries that happened to our defensive line, so we couldn't stop the run. So that was the biggest issue the Redskins had. So we re-signed Dustin Hopkins. Woohoo! It's a kicker. He's not a great kicker, not a bad kicker. He's like 30th ranked in the league, so it's not the worst thing ever. But it is what it is. We got him back. So on top of that, we also re-signed Brian Quick to like a 1-year deal. Don't really see the point in that. You could have I'd rather get Ryan Grant, re-sign him for another year than have Brian Quick. But I guess maybe just a leadership locker room guy. We got Paul Richardson. Now that one I think was actually a pretty good deal. Paul Richardson, he's on a team that for the most time he's been there has been like a running based team. And I think he'll be on a team where we're going to throw a little bit more. And he's also a burner deep, so that's going to help stretch the field. We'll see how all that plays out. But was pretty excited about that signing. I think it's an underrated signing. I think I could really pay dividends for us this year. We re-signed Zach Brown. Zach Brown led us in tackling last year. He was like top in the league in tackling. He's like, if you look at the rankings of players, he was like the number 19th best linebacker in the league, and that's actually pretty good ranking. That actually might be a low ranking because he ended the season with a little bit of an injury, but getting him back will definitely help solidify our defense. Next one is Lander Skandrick. Lander Skandrick, not the greatest signing, but I think it's smart signing him because he's played for division rival, and give Jay Gruden a little bit of insight onto what Dallas plans for and what they plan against when it comes to his offense. Excuse me. Pernell McPhee, we signed him at linebacker. It's kind of just a lateral move when it comes to replacing Junior Gillette, other than the fact he's a lot more healthy. And according to Chris Cooley, and I kind of trust Chris Cooley's judgment on this, he's very good at he gets good leverage when it comes to pass rushing. So he's good at getting leverage. He gets 6 foot in the ground. He's really good at getting up under people's pads and lifting them. And that's pretty good ability for an edge rusher. But he's actually a linebacker, so we'll see what he plays. We got rid of Sue Cravens. We got a couple draft picks for him. And we also traded for Kevin Hogan. Now, not listed on this website is we actually re-signed Phil Taylor. So getting Phil Taylor, big sign up there. He's a big body guy. Not a bad guy. I think he was actually doing pretty good in preseason prior to his injury. Okay? So, needless to say, the big guy, hopefully the big guy gets some playing time. Maybe he can stay healthy this year and he can actually contribute to us. We could have really used him last year. Really could have used him last year. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the entire roster, and I'm going to see where we're at in every position without going over the draft first. So quarterback, we have Alex Smith, Colt McCoy, and Kevin Hogan. I think we're set there. Alex Smith, power ranking in 2017, was the third best quarterback in the league with overall power ranking. Hopefully he repeats that. I mean, it's just going to depend on how everything else plays out. Samaje Perine is the 42nd best running back in the league. Actually, Chris Thompson's ranked higher than him at 32. But Chris Thompson can play every down because he'll get injured because he's too small. Rob Kelly is number 80. Hopefully we won't have Rob Kelly by the end of the season. And you'll see why as soon as I go over my draft pick. Or we won't have Rob Kelly by the first game. Josh Dobson, Jamison Crowder, Paul Richardson are all three top 56 receivers, so that's not too bad. And then when you're looking at Vernon Davis and Jordan Reed, they're both actually top 37. So all that's going to really matter there is if Jordan Reed's healthy, we're going to be fine because that's 5 solid receivers there. Paul Richardson, Dobson, Crowder, Reed, and Davis. That's solid there. Okay? But the problem is Jordan Reed can't stay healthy. Josh Dobson's not had a history so far of being healthy consistently. So, offensive line. Starting left tackle is Trent Williams. Left guard is Ari Kuwadugio. Chase Roulier. Brandon Sheriff and Morgan Moses. I think center and left guard are the only two we need to really fix. I don't like Morgan Moses, so if we can replace him, I'd be okay with that, but it's not the end of the world. On the bench, we have a handful of guys. We have, who actually I think is going to be would be a pretty good player to help us. Orlando Franklin, who's a little bit older, but he's still a quality offensive lineman. And the rest of these guys are pretty much free agent signings, undrafted rookies that we just added to add depth to the offensive line. They're not big offensive line. They need to have a little bit more beef to them to actually be successful. But losing Spencer Long really makes it so we have to play Chase Roulier, which I actually don't think Chase Roulier played too bad. He played for Wyoming. He stepped in pretty well last year. And then then we have Cugio, whatever his name is. He's a pretty big guard. He's a pretty big size guard. And we brought him off Baltimore's practice squad. So he's from Alabama. He played in Alabama. So there's a couple guys that could pan out to be okay. Orlando Franklin's the only one I'm actually kind of excited about when it comes to our depth. But everyone else is young, but none of them are big. They're all like 300 pounds or like 305. You need to have like 315, 320 to be successful in the NFL. Kicker, Dustin Hopkins. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so defensive line is where we're going to need the most help. Okay. Matt Ioannidis is our left defensive end. Ziggy Hood was our nose tackle, which will probably be Phil Taylor or the guy I'm going to draft. In right defensive end is Jonathan Allen, which Jonathan Allen didn't do bad last year, but if I went through the list of all the injuries we had last year, so many injuries. It's ridiculous how many injuries we had. So at depth, we have Stacey McGee. I thought we were going to I was so certain we were going to get rid of him, but he is what he is. Nose tackle, Terrell McLean and AJ Francis. AJ Francis isn't exactly horrible. It's just he's just not very skilled. Like he's a big guy. He plugs up space. He's just not very skilled. And the other guys don't really matter to me. McAllister, I guess, kind of does well, but he's so small. Kerrigan, we actually have 3 top 50 linebackers in the league. That's actually really good. We have Kerrigan, number 11 in power rankings. Number 19 is Zach Brown. Martell Spaeth, who I thought had a great season last year, and then Preston Smith. All 4 of those guys did amazing last year. Mason Foster, he'll step in and probably start. He was injured a good bit last year. Pernell McPhee, obviously. Ryan Anderson, we haven't really seen him get a chance to play much. So there's a handful of players in that are going to get a chance. Redskins always have good linebackers. I don't know how we do it, but we always have quality linebackers. We always do. We're able to always find good quality linebackers all the time. Okay? Now, our secondary, we have Josh Norman, DJ Swearinger, DeShazier Everett, and Orlando Scandrick. Quentin Dunbar. Those would be our starting secondary. Now, Orlando Scandrick can step in and play the, he plays slot receiver. But I actually think by the end of the season, Fabian Monroe will be starting. I think he will be starting, and Josh Housley will actually get some reps this year because when you play in the SEC and you're starting corner in the SEC for 4 years, there's something about you that's gonna fit. Okay, and then Monte Nicholson, I think will eventually it's gonna be between him and DeShazier Everett. One of those two is gonna end up starting. Okay, right now they have DeShazier Everett slotted in at the starting position, but I think Monte Nicholson can actually step in and replace him. So, and then I'm not worried about special teams. So that's what the Redskins have going for them. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go into this. I go into a website, and this website actually has you can actually do like a mock draft. If that makes sense. So you can go to this website, and I'll find out what it is real quick. It's so much fun to do. I recommend it if any of you want to try to like match the team I got. Do better than what I did. I mean, I'm not trying to compete with anyone here. It's www.first-pick.com. You sign in and you can draft players. And I'm not going to go over my draft history. I'm just going to go ahead and go over my picks. Now, here's what I did. I looked at what we needed, and I looked at opportunities we had, and I went with the best. I went with what I thought we needed. Now, here's what I think we need still. Defensive tackle, running back, corner, or offensive line cornerback. Those are the 4 most important positions we need to fill. And here's the cool thing about this website. They grade your pick based on who you pick and when you pick them. Okay? So keep that in mind. All my picks except for 2 are A's. Okay? So keep that in mind. So this is the best possible outcome I think I've come up with for our team. I did this in one try. Okay, I did a couple weeks back. I did it just messing around. This is when I tried to build the best team and get all the parts we needed. Okay, so the first pick in the draft, we had number 13. I took Vita Vea, defensive tackle from Washington. This guy, he has all the intangibles that we need to be a solid defensive tackle. You get him and Phil Taylor in like goal line. They're gonna plug up the middle. They're going to have success. We need a solid run stopper. That's our biggest problem is we don't stop the run successfully as a team. Okay? So I think having a run stopper and he can also rush the passer. He has all the intangibles of doing both. Okay? Now, the second pick. I don't remember what number the second pick was, but I had options to trade back. So with trading back, I got a couple extra picks. I traded back twice. So I ended up getting all the way back to the pick 28 in the second round. With that pick, I picked Rashad Penny, running back for San Diego State. He's a solid running back. He's the next Akeem Hunt, or whatever his name was. Akeem Hunt. The guy had a breakout season this year for the Chiefs. I think that would be a huge addition to our team. He would definitely put Shamaze Perine like kind of out of commission, or at least put him on at number 3 on the depth chart. So that's what I think about him. So in that trade, we also acquired 2 third-rounders. Okay? So in the third round, pick number 14, I acquired that pick from the Kansas City Chiefs. I obtained Kevin Tolliver. Okay, Kevin Tolliver, cornerback from LSU. Now this one was an A. This guy is a solid cornerback. Anyone who can play corner in the SEC, you gotta have something working for you. Something you're doing like right. Okay, just based on who you're playing, based on the caliber of talent you're playing. So that's who I ended up picking with the 14th pick in the third round. Okay, that draft pick was an A. The next pick, I realized, and this is my opinion on offensive line. I think offensive line, for the most part, are somewhat universal. Like you can, I mean, obviously you can't. They're not all universal. I can't like rotate them all around, but I think they're to a degree they are universal. Okay, so I know we don't need an offensive tackle, but if we can maybe get rid of Morgan Moses or maybe move Morgan Moses to a guard, this would work. Jerron Christian, offensive tackle from Louisville. Big old hog molly, big guy, big blocker. Okay. I got an A on that pick as well. So I got him the 28th pick in the third round. Now, the next pick wasn't too far from that because I traded down. I got the ninth pick in the fourth round, and I got another offensive player, Wyatt Teller, offensive guard for Virginia Tech. I got an A+ for where I picked him up. He has second round caliber player. So right there, we have two issues on our offensive line right now. If you want to technically talk two, Roulier, I think would be our center, so I'm not gonna mess with that. But we need an offensive guard because we have some no-name offensive guard playing at left offensive guard next to Trent Williams. Okay, and so I got a guard right there to place him, and then Morgan Moses, in my opinion, is not very good. So if Wyatt Teller can step up and be productive, both of these guys, Teller and Christian, can both step up and step into the starting roles, and we can just move forward with a good, solid offensive line rather than having to have this makeshift line every year. Okay, so that's an A+ pick as well. Solid guy, big guy, had a good 40 time, everything. Okay, fifth round. Okay, so now I have two fifth-round picks. The fifth pick in the fifth round, I got a free agent, Van Smith from Clemson. This is my lowest draft grade I got, was a C+. I wasn't sure why. Look at his numbers. He had a big guy. I guess he only got burned a few times that I wasn't aware of. But hey, it's a fifth-round pick. And he's a free safety, so I can't complain too much. Now, the next pick I got I actually recognize this name. This guy was a hell of a player. He's a hell of a player. Fifth round, 26th pick, Allen Lazard. Allen Lazard, a wide receiver from Iowa State, got an A++ for drafting him at that time. And the reason why I got an A++ for drafting him at that time, because he's actually a solid receiver. He could probably put he could push Brian Quick off of our team, and we could put him in and be a lot more successful. Okay, he is a possession receiver. He's a good player. He's a solid player. I remember watching him against WVU this year. Solid player. Okay. Next pick, sixth pick in the draft, or sixth round, 14th pick. This guy, Augie Sanchez, he plays an inside linebacker for South Florida. That's my second lowest draft of B+. Okay, so but still, I think solid player. I got value at that point. The point is, I'm just getting value at these positions. Now, obviously, I think all these guys could sub in next year and start. That'd be insane. That'd be amazing. But it'd also be insane to think that would be a definitive possibility. Okay, I'm getting guys that could possibly get put on the practice team, could be moved up within a year or two. Okay, that's the way I think of this. After you get past the fourth round, pretty much that's where I look at guys. Other than Allen Lazard, I think that could be the possibility for all these players. Seventh pick, 13th pick in the seventh round, I got Michigan State center Allen Bryan. Now I got an A on this one, so I must have got him. I must have picked this must have been like a gem late because I got an A on this pick. Okay, and you don't get a lot of A's in the seventh round, but this guy I guess was like third or fourth round caliber. Maybe it's high. I think it might have been as high as fifth round caliber. But I got him in the seventh round, and then to round out my draft, I picked the 23rd pick in the seventh round was Marcus Baugh, tight end from Ohio State. 6'5", big guy, blocking tight end. I think he would I don't think he'll make the team because we have a pretty solid. Unless they trade away Jordan Reed, then he'd definitely make the team. In that case, we're getting salary cap space. We better get something back, stuff like that. So that's what I drafted. Now my score for this was 19,544. Draft grade was a B-. I think that's a horrible draft grade considering every one of my draft picks were all A's except for 2 guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drafts, and 8 of them were A or A+ at every position. It is what it is. Maybe it's because every time they have a need, like your team needs, and I don't always fill those needs because I don't agree with all those needs. They want wide receivers like the number 1 need, apparently, on this website. So that's what I think going forward. So with this pick, if you look back at the roster, what would happen here? Vita Vea would come in and be our defensive tackle. Okay, we're solidified in that position. Now we have depth there with Phil Taylor. Okay. Rashard Penny would step in and be our running back. He'd be our Keem Hunt. He could be an every down back. Would still put value in having Chris Thompson maybe run slot or stuff like that. Kevin Tolliver, he might go step in and replace Kendall Fuller, and then Orlando Scandrick would just be a veteran nickel back or something like that. And if the 2 offensive linemen that I got pan out, we can get rid of some, dead weight in Morgan Moses and a couple of those free agents, or that free agent guy we got last year who didn't really do much. I'm fine with keeping the kid we got from Wyoming as center. I thought he did amazing. Okay, but we also Alan Lazard. So those are the picks, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys I got that could not 7, 6. It'd be 6 guys. 6 guys I got that I think could legitimately step in next year and be a part of this team and help this team out a lot. Now, again, am I the drafting for the Washington Redskins? No, I'm not. I'm not. I wish I was. Make things a lot easier for me. But I'm not drafting for the Washington Redskins. I'm just putting in my 2 cents and just kind of giving my opinion on it. So, again, the website is first-draft.com. And that just went out. Come back on. Come on. Okay, there we go. So, if you want to go in there and draft and see if you can do any better, more than welcome to. I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I've just tried to do it, see what I could do. Now, I want to address this. I do think some people think that, like, what's his name? Bruce Allen has not done great this offseason. Let me just first off, he can do a lot worse. Okay, let's just put that out there first. He can definitely do worse. I'm not going to sit here and try to make excuses for the guy, but he can do a lot worse, and he can also do a hell of a lot better. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and say the guy's the worst GM ever. He's not. He did fill some spots, okay? But I hope he's not thinking that, I got Phil Taylor, I don't have to draft Vita Vea. I can go for a big splashy pick. Don't get the splashy pick, okay? If we stuck to this, I would be tickle pink with this because we fill so many holes on our team, and they're actually quality guys, and I think we'd actually have a pretty solid season this year, but that's just me. Ultimately, again, I don't run the Redskins. I wish I did. That'd be amazing, but I don't. And, I mean, as a fellow YouTuber of the Redskins says, he's pretty sure that the Washington Redskins us Washington Redskins YouTubers can run the team better than the Washington front office, which is, I would totally agree with that. The only issue we'd have is we don't know. I mean, all of us Redskin guys don't disagree. I mean, if Jay Gruden saw the video and decided to do this, that'd be great too. I mean, if he saw any of my videos, he'd know that if he just runs the ball 25 times a game, his odds of winning go up significantly. But he doesn't do that. So that's just the way it works. He's like 26-2-1 when he runs the ball more than 25 times. So that's all my video is today. I got a big jersey coming. I can't wait. It's actually a black Redskins jersey with Alex Smith's name on. I can't wait. So hopefully that comes today. If not, I'm gonna probably record this, or I'll at least show everyone what it is. Other than that, this is JD. This is Redskins Rant. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also give a shout out to On the Warpath. They're another Redskins YouTube channel that I did a collaboration with. If you go back a couple episodes, they actually did a collaboration video with me. So really appreciate them giving me that opportunity. And then soon I'm going to try to get them on my channel. I'm not as tech savvy as they are, so we'll see. But my name is JD. This is Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. Have a good one, guys.